Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to share with you 4 truths about Google Analytics 4. Everybody loves Google Analytics 4, and making right data driven decisions is something everybody wants to do. But nobody will tell you this, that Google Analytics is definitely a great tool, but implementing Google Analytics is in itself is a very slow process, and specifically if you have many websites or many mobile apps or many different technologies where you want to deploy Google Analytics for, it's going to be a very cumbersome and challenging process, and most importantly it is going to be slow, right? The major reasons why the process is slow is because it involves a lot of manual effort to identify events, validate events, and ultimately prepare reports, prepare dashboards, and even doing a small thing like filtering certain data points might require lots of skill set as well as time, uh, which is everything manual, right? And number two is back and forth with developers, designers, and agencies. A lot of times, your teams might be just struggling with working with different teams, syncing up, collaboration takes a lot of time. So, number one truth is expect the process to be slow and might take anywhere between 1 month to even 6 months if your websites are pretty long, difficult to track, or has complex sections. uh, Probably your tagging projects will be very lengthy. Number two truth is it requires heavy collaborations between different teams, right? Like starting from the designer who is designing the screen, uh, then the analytics who is defining the events on different screens. Once the events, the codes are ready, the developers will implement those codes on the website, and then again the analytics or testing team will validate those events whether everything is working perfectly fine or not. And it requires many parties to work together on this particular data taking plan, and that is one of the reasons that if you haven't parked really enough bandwidth from all these teams, your data project or Google Analytics 4 project might actually fail, or even if it does not fail, it might delay the tracking, and availability of data and reports will be very late. Number three is oftentimes we start with a great uh, plan, but then uh, the developers or any other parties involved in the project uh, makes it a little challenging to implement those plans with 100% accuracy, because they don't know Google Analytics or they don't know Google Tag Manager, right? So there are certain things that they deploy, such as wrong parameters, or sometimes they would just not implement event, or oftentimes they also implement inaccurate events, or all these things makes it inaccurate data tracking and broken reports, right? This results into broken report. And imagine if you have like 60 plus 100 events to be implemented on different web portals, websites, and many countries where you have websites. This becomes a nightmare, right? It's not a scalable approach, and insights again are not scalable, right? So data tracking is often inaccurate and not scalable. And the last one is it is costly. That whenever you implement data tracking on your properties, it requires a dedicated team. And if you don't have a team, you're going to hire an agency or a freelancer, which is where all this manual work will pile up hours of definitely Google Analytics tagging will consume lot many hours, and sometimes it's a recurring process, so you have to also invest into retainer contracts, and then a constant need for quality checks on your data points and reworking cycles actually add to your cost, right? So these are the four truths that we feel over the period of time, like over like last 10 years, if you are new to Google Analytics, you're probably likely going to face these. Or if you are not new, if you are an existing GA4 customer, you probably already know this, right? But uh, the real cost is not just time or money, right? So all these points lead to that Google Analytics tagging is a bit manual, it's not efficient, it's definitely rewarding. We are not telling that Google Analytics 4 is not something worth doing, right? Google Analytics 4 is definitely worth doing, but the real cost is not just time or money. The real cost of tagging and all these inefficiencies is missed insights, right? Most of the time, from your team, from agency teams, actually goes into implementations and not interpretations, right? If you can see the screen, what I try to explain here is your teams are busy tagging, implementations goes on, testing is going on, coordination is going on, some more coordination, and then you fix certain Google Tag Manager issues, you again rework on your GA4, ultimately you get your reports, and seldom times you also get, maybe if you're lucky, you get a chance to get insights from reports and then act on it, right? uh, what I'm saying here is that Google Analytics 4 is a gold mine, right? And if you are not tackling Google Analytics 4 in the right way, uh, you are going to spend 80% of your time into all these implementation items, and you will be only left with 20% time for the actual insights which can make impact on your business or which can move the needle for your business, right? And that is why many companies really think that data projects are failing, data projects are not delivering value, right? This is the major reason that your CEO or your CDO might actually see that tagging as a big pain point, as well as not delivering enough value, right? And yeah, definitely when weeks are spent on setting up, fixing your tags, teams are busy, reports become late or even bad, right? Even worst scenario is where reports are wrong, full of wrong data. That's something that you want to avoid, and that is why we created Measuremate to change all that. We created Measuremate, which is your personal GA4 expert. It's your ultimate AI powered GA4 tracking, reporting, and insights system that can help you with all the setup that you can see on the screen, like Google Tag Manager, GA4 audit, server side tracking, e-commerce tracking for Shopify, WooCommerce, or any pixels like Metapixel, consent mode, FKP, even Google Ads or Snapchat, TikTok ads. All these can be tackled very easily in an automated way using Measurement, right? So in the next video, we will be explaining what Measurement does and a little bit more detail about Measurement and how the Measurement is structured and what makes Measurement unique. Thank you.